All right. My name is Mason Nystrom. I'm a research analyst with Muscara. Muscara is a data analytics and research platform, and excited to speak with you all today.
Hi, I'm Bobbi Muscara. I run Ledger Academy, which is a blockchain school in the metaverse. I also am on the Hyperledger Technical Steering Committee, and I'm going to talk about a social impact project using NFTs.
Hi, my name is Fiona Aboud. I am an artist and photographer and teacher. I work on a lot of large-scale projects involving portraits, and I've exhibited internationally, and I'm originally from Brazil, and I'm collected by Brazilian Museum and have shown all around. And now I've been in the NFT space for almost a year, I guess. And yeah, it's super exciting opportunities, and I'm excited to share.
Hello, my name is Ramesh. I'm going to moderate the panel. I actually represent the IEEE Blockchain Initiative. It's the organization that's actually behind the Wi-Fi standard. So I work on developing standards for blockchain. So today, I'm going to moderate this panel where we have, we have an artist, Fiona. We have a use case that Bobbi's going to talk about, a use case of an NFT. And then Mason will talk about the trend in the industry. So unfortunately, Sam Rich could not make it today. He's at Sydney, and due to travel issues, he couldn't be here. So he was going to actually do a demo. So this was the first slide that I wanted to share with you, where if you go to one question, how many of you are new to NFT? Like very new, brand new? Okay, like maybe 15%. So you can just go to the website, Nft.NYC/101. There's actually a guide that talks about, for beginners. And if you go to page 67, 68, they actually outline how to create an NFT. There's a 5-step process, which actually Sam was going to do a demo. As I said, he couldn't be here. So please do check out, but we do have some practical insights from Fiona and use case that we'll go through. So also, once you have gone through the guide that I showed you, you want to know more about the industry, you could check out this nonfungible.com. They publish quarterly reports, and the latest report, you see the pie chart, it shows different market segments that are looking at issuing NFTs. Like you can see collectibles, art, we have metaverse, sports, and games. So check out these two ones. This guide and also this report. Check out these two. Now, I'm going to actually pass it on to Fiona. She's going to talk about, she's been teaching how to create NFTs. So she can share some platforms that she has used for teaching, the pros and cons, as well as some security issues.
Hi, okay. So obviously there's many options for minting NFTs, and all of them have different issues. Like I'm sure a lot of you know, with Ethereum, we have tons of gas fees right now, especially, but ETH 2.0 is around the corner. And so a lot of people don't know this, but Hiketnunk on the Tezos blockchain is the largest, there's the most volume of NFTs traded. And I think that's still true because things change so quickly in this space. But then there's also, so many others, BNB, and there's Flow. One thing I really like about the Flow blockchain, and there were some guys earlier talking about it, is that you can change the smart contract. Like for instance, a lot of the projects I'm developing have social impact, and in the smart contract you can put the nonprofit and yourself as an artist. What if that changes 10, 20 years down the line and you want to change it? With Ethereum, you can't, and with Flow, you can. And then there's Diba, which is developing NFTs on Bitcoin on the Taproot upgrade. That is happenings very soon. And then in the future, there's going to be cross-chain, right? You mint on Ethereum, you want to transfer to Solana, vice versa, and it's going to get easier and easier, and the technology is going to get better and better. But as an artist, the way I like to try to approach it is you're creating your archive, you're creating your reputation. I've been an artist for 20 years, and when I think of my lifetime, I want to, for my own reputation and my ancestors or my future ancestors, what they are able to benefit or in the future of the sales and just the storing, the future storing of all of your work. So anyway, the next slide is really basic, but you'd be surprised how many people who are making tons of money in this space are not careful with their security. And every week on Clubhouse, I hear news stories of people getting phished, clicking on links, getting into discords that are, evil copycat discords. But I would say in this space as an artist, probably, and as a collector, your most important thing is your hardware wallet, and just being really safe about your seed phrase. And then just watch out. Don't click on anything until you've confirmed the identity of the sender. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, needs specific help, I'd love to help you. It's my mission. I'm a teacher first in this space, and I'm just my name on all the socials. So anyway, Bobbi, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Bobbi Muscara, and I'm going to talk about enterprise use cases and NFTs. So I am on the technical steering committee of Hyperledger, which gets me the ability to play with all the fun products that they're coming up with when they're creating them. In 2019, I am from across the river in New Jersey, and there's a great meetup community in Princeton, New Jersey. There's about 2,000 people in it. And in 2019, instead of just talking about blockchain, we decided to try to do a social impact blockchain project. Can you hear me? Okay. We decided to do a social impact blockchain project called the Giving Chain. And what it did, it was try to decentralize charity giving so that the donor, transporter, and recipient had an immutable record of the donation. So we did this project in 2019. We forked the Sawtooth Hyperledger code, which if you're familiar with that, takes an example of a fish from the ocean to the restaurant's table, tracking it with IoT devices. So for our supply chain, we forked the code for the Sawtooth blockchain, took out the fish, and put in giving bags, which my cards, I'll get them later, but look like this. The problem with we used the ALIS, which is the Alliance for Youth Leaders of America, to collect farm produce in New Jersey, because in August there's a lot of farm produce and people don't know what to do with it. We collected that and we had some food drives. Then we transported the goods to homeless vets in our area and the food banks. The 55 giving bags to the homeless vets. We had our children think about homelessness, and in Princeton that's hard for them to do. And pack up these bags as if they needed to live on them and just the bags, which was, again, it was eye-opening for our children. Once we delivered the bags, the person who had the computer that was tracking them through these little barcodes on the bag, when he turned his computer off, the blockchain went away. There was no node set up, there was no consensus set up, it was just a proof of concept. It was so interesting, though, that we won the Global Blockchain Awards ceremony. Which led us to the Government Blockchain Award ceremony. We won the Social Impact 2020 Award. The project didn't die there. I submitted it at Hyperledger for a mentorship. And I have 3 mentees, 2 from India and 1 from New Jersey, who are working on making this not just a proof of concept, but a minimal viable project. So we went back and we decided to scale it up this time. So instead of doing 1 giving chain in Princeton, we did 1 in Princeton again. We did 1 in Ukatahan, India, and then we did another to rural NGOs in India, and I'll explain that in a minute. So my project, again, went along the same lines as the first one. the project in Uttarakhand, India, was dealing with flood victims, and their towns are washed away, and the local towns want to, contribute to their needs and wants during their crisis. So my mentee, Hardik, ran that project. And then my other mentee, her name is Madhu, she's from India, and she took on the challenge of women's hygiene in India because it's not very important. And during COVID, the supply chains broke down and women had no hygiene or access to hygiene projects. So the Giving Chain, in the end of the summer, we delivered, again, 100 pounds of food to the food banks. We delivered some farm fresh goods to the flood victims in Uttarakhand, and we did deliver lots of sanitary products to women in rural India. And we tracked that, gathered the data, and again, like I said in the beginning, I'm a Hyperledger lab person, so I hang out there a lot. And they came up with a new Hyperledger project called Firefly. Now, what Firefly does is it builds blockchain as a solution, so you don't need those tech stacks. Right now, the Giving Chain is working as of last week with Firefly. We have taken the barcodes off the bags, and instead, now that NFTs are here, we can actually run the system like this. So if you look at the slide, step one, you register. Project manager registers the donors, the transporters, and the recipients. Step two is the donor goes to, like if there's a crisis in your town and a certain part of your town needs blankets. So the donors will take a blanket, put it in a bag, put it outside their house, take a picture of it, go to the Giving Chain, and upload that picture. The Giving Chain will then make that picture an NFT, and that NFT will be the digital twin for the actual donation. So that when the driver shows up from the alerted NFT, they will take the donation and take possession of the NFT in their wallet, along with a picture of the donation in their possession. And that picture becomes part of the metadata. So that NFT transfers to the transporter, so you know where the donation is, and the transporter alerts the recipient accepts the donation, and again, a picture is taken at the end of the cycle. So now you have an immutable record of the NFT. No one else was involved in the process but the actual donors, recipients, and transporters. So hopefully this is going to move into something. Again, the mentorship is over in 2 weeks and we're on our own. So we're looking for programmers, we're looking for marketers, and all kinds of people to get involved in a social impact project. And again, if you have any questions about it, you can ask me, but this is just one way that NFTs are going to be used in enterprise solutions. And that's going to have a huge impact on the market. And I'll turn it over.
So now Mason is going to talk about the market trend.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'll talk about a couple quick trends that we're seeing within the NFT ecosystem. The first trend is that NFTs are rapidly becoming a multi-chain world. And by that I mean, what Fiona talked about is how you can issue NFTs on all these different blockchains. Well, here you have two different charts. The first chart on your right is total secondary sales, so person-to-person sales of NFTs, which has surpassed $10 billion. And so that's showing that this is rapidly becoming a highly monetizable space, and this is across a variety of different NFT projects. Secondly, in the other graph, you'll see the breakdown and really the evolution of the NFT market. So Ethereum was the dominant NFT platform, and then when Flow initially came on the market with its flagship product, NBA Top Shot, that garnered a lot of interest, a lot of volume. Ronin in blue, which is Axie Infinity's sidechain, has more recently taken off as a leading platform. And then, as you can see, Ethereum still remains the dominant platform today. Not pictured in this chart are Tezos and Solana, which also have several $100 million worth of volume. And then the last two trends that I'll kind of touch on have to do with the Nft Stack. So as everyone in this room probably already knows, an NFT can be anything from a piece of real estate to a PFP to, you name it. And as we look at the stack, one thing that becomes increasingly important as NFTs increase in financial and monetary value is the liquidity around them. And so as anyone here knows who's bought an NFT, the market for buying and selling it is fairly limited. And so the financialization of these assets is incredibly important for the growth of this industry. And that can happen in a variety of different ways. First, we can look at different types of financialization protocols, everything from accurately pricing these NFTs through appraisal protocols to actually providing more liquidity. And that can be done through indexation protocols like NFTX, which has tens of millions of dollars in TVL, total value locked in the protocol, or protocols like fractional.art, which allow for the fractionalization of an NFT so you can trade fungible tokens of that NFT. And fractional.art recently surpassed 1 billion in fractional token trading volume in a matter of several months, which is pretty impressive and just shows the rapid pace at which this industry is growing. The last trend I really want to touch on is that of composability. And general partner at A16Z, Chris Dixon, has, I think, a pretty great quote on why composability is important. And he says, composability in software is to compound interest in finance. And in crypto networks, composability allows for rapid and permissionless innovation, which enables for as a catalyst mechanism for lots of development and consumer growth. And so if you just take like one simple example of SoRare, which is the popular fantasy football trading card NFTs where you can trade and create your own fantasy league, they have their own individual league, but then they've also partnered with Ubisoft to create another league that will be managed by Ubisoft. And so you now have one individual NFT collection that becomes the foundation for building out a multitude of games and value creation. And so you can kind of take that composability all the way up and down the stack, and that is going to be magnificently value creative for creators, developers, and consumers.
Thank you, Mason. So we have 2 minutes left for Q&A. So just to give you a recap, we had, I'll go back to the first slide. So we had Fiona, who's an artist and teacher. Then Bobbi talked about an use case, enterprise use case. Then Mason talked about the industry trend. So we have like 1 minute and 50 seconds. If you have any questions, I guess we will get out of here. Oh, I have a question. Is there a question? You can give a mic.
It's for Fiona. So as an artist, so talking about onboarding, so when you're talking about onboarding artists, I'm not an artist, but I love NFTs, I love art, and I love physical art as well. So if I'm talking to a physical artist, I feel like they're very hard to approach to kind of talk about NFTs without them being like, NFTs are a scam, NFTs are a Ponzi, whatever they might think without knowing anything about the space. So how do you think someone like me could approach a physical artist that is not at all interacting with the digital space and onboard them in a way that is respecting kind of what they want to do, but also helping them understand the possibilities that they could unlock?
So you can tell them that in, I think it was the 30s, that this artist named Yves Klein, he sold air as his art. And he's credited a lot of times as being like the first NFT artist because it's just a concept. And if you think about all art, it's really just like a concept that a creator has put forth as something that is valuable because it's a unique concept. So you can tell them that Yves Klein was creating NFTs before there was the internet, and you can look it up. It's you know, he was a phenomenon. So anyway, yeah, tell them that and send them to me and slap them. No.
Well, we're running out of time. Let's thank you everybody for the opportunity. You can connect with us on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
you.